Good day. My name's Millie. I'm going to be reading some verses out of the Bible every day, if I can get the hang of this. I feel like God has wanted me to share the Bible with people, and I thought YouTube would be a good place to start. I have a new International Version Rainbow Study Bible, which unfortunately these days the GBLT, whatever else initials they've added, community has taken over the rainbow, but it originally is God. The rainbow is around God's throne. So the makers of this came up with codes. Purple are God talking, either God speaking or scriptures about God. Red is discipleship, obedience to God, and praise to God. Green is love, joy, kindness, all the good things that we should have. Faith is orange, which includes prayer and miracles, because they both require faith. Sin are evil and judgments of the ungodly. The enemy, Satan, is brown. He's in idolatry. He's into idolatry. He wants people to idolize him. Yeah, he teaches falsely. Blue is the salvation, their blessings, deliverance from the evil or deliverance from whatever is happening. Yellow are for family, and they include genealogy and marriages. Pink are witness, which teachings and counseling that they offer in the Bible. Olive are the commandments or the laws, which is more than just the 10 Commandments, and offerings. Silver is history, which includes creation or war. And gold is prophecy, which is the promise of things to come. Now, I'm going to start in the New Testament. Mostly because it's not that I think the Old Testament is any worse than, or not important. But the Old Testament is history and prophecy. And we're in this time. And Jesus, even though he was born in our past, he is still in this time. His birth and death and resurrection were recorded for people to know about into this time. God never had any intention of us being left behind him. He always intended that mankind would come to know him. And by sending his son to die and deliver us from sin, these are the words that are written down for us to know exactly what happened when Jesus was here. The first chapter of Matthew is all mostly his genealogy to prove that he's in the line of David. David's seed was promised to be king over Israel forever. And God's promises in the Old Testament are just as good as the day he made them. So it's important for them to show that Jesus was in the line of David. So I won't read each of these. I'm just going to give you a chance to look through them real quickly, because I get tongue-tied trying to say all of these names. And but I do want you to have the opportunity to read them. And I find it interesting that just very few mentions of the mothers, which goes to show the importance that God had on them. So we get down to Jacob, the father of Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Jesus, who was called Christ. Now, Joseph is not listed as Jesus' father because he is not. God is, by the power of the Holy Spirit. There were 14 generations from Abraham to David, 14 from David to the exile of Babylon, and 14 from the exile to the birth of Jesus, the Christ. And this is how the birth of Jesus Christ came about. His mother Mary was pledged to be married to Joseph, but before they came together, she was found to be with child through the Holy Spirit. Because Joseph, her husband, was a righteous man and did not want to expose her to public disgrace, he had a mind to quietly divorce her. Now, in those days, if he had come out and told people she was pregnant and it wasn't his, they would have stoned her to death. Or that's probably what would have happened, or they would have run her out of the country at least. So after he had considered this, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream and told Joseph, Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary home as your wife, because what is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son, and you are to give him the name Jesus, because he will save his people from their sins. All this took place to fulfill what the Lord said through the prophet. The virgin will be with child and will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, which means God with us. When Joseph woke up, he did what the angel of the Lord had commanded him and took Mary home as his wife, but had no union with her until she gave birth to a son, and he gave him the name Jesus. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem, in Judea, during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw a star in the east and have come to worship him." When Herod heard this, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. When he had called together all the people's chief priests and teachers of the law, he asked them, "Where is the Christ was to be born?" "In Bethlehem, in Judea," they replied, "for this is what the prophet had written. But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judea, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for out of you will come a ruler who will be shepherd of my people Israel." After hearing this, then Herod called the Magi secretly and found out from them the exact time the star had appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go, make careful search for the child, and as soon as you find him, report to me, so that I too may go and worship him." And after they had heard the king, they went on their way, and the star they had seen in the east went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother, Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, incense, and myrrh. After having been warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, they returned to their country by another route. So the Lord warned them not to go back to tell Herod, because he knew they were going to try and kill Jesus. And after they had gone, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in the dream. "Get up," he said, "take the child and his mother and escape to Egypt. Stay there until I tell you, for Herod is going to search for the child to kill him." So immediately he got up, took the child and his mother during the night, and left for Egypt, where he stayed until the death of Herod. And so was fulfilled what the Lord said to this prophet, "Out of Egypt I called my son." When Herod realized he had been outwitted by the Magi, he was furious and gave orders to kill all the boys in Bethlehem and in its vicinity who were 2 years and under, in accordance with the time he learned about from the Magi. Then what was said through the prophet Jeremiah was filled. A voice is heard in Ramah, weeping and great mourning. Rachel weeping for her children and refusing to be comforted because they are no more. After Herod died, an angel of the Lord then appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt and said, "Get up, take the child and his mother and go to the land of Israel, for those who were trying to kill him are dead." So he got up, took the child and his mother and went into the land of Israel. But when he heard that Archelaus was reigning in Judea in place of his father Herod, he was afraid to go there. Having been warned in a dream, he withdrew to the district of Galilee, and he went and lived in a town called Nazareth. So he was fulfilled what was said through the prophets. He will be called a Nazarene. Now, I'll stop here for today. I will check over this and hopefully find it not too terrible that I couldn't post it. And we'll read chapter 3 tomorrow. This is Millie. Thank you so much. Goodbye.